Before I begin, I would like to congratulate you. For in some time in your life, you've gotten in front of a group and spoken. Not just talk, spoken. And I admire your courage for you completed this feat. As this lovely stage has welcomed me into its razor-sharp teeth, I stand here with a single piece of paper to prevent the end of my life. Scary, but realistic to those who share this fear with me. A knight in shining armor, except a girl with a t-shirt. Despite the teacher saying, "You got it," and "You rock," I'm more like a rock, standing here, frozen in time, simply terrified. My friends always say, you'll be fine, like you'll go up and you'll rock it. But I don't believe them with a single bone in my body. But if I were trying to impress you, I would say, I have gotten rid of all my stage fright, and I am a perfect presenter. But if I said that, I would not be saying the truth. I am saying the truth when I say I've improved my writing through presentations, and my presentations have gotten better. But here I am, simply terrified. Stomach twisted, brain fluttering, and mouth stuttering. Despite my fear, talking is a basic form of communication. Though many speeches have other ways, this is our own special way. See, I was always told body language is 90% of a conversation, but if I stood here in different ways, you would never know what I'm trying to say. I know I'm taking this very literally, but I feel in many ways it would be a lot easier than getting in front of a group and speaking. I'm bilingual, speaking both English and body language, though I prefer the latter, because I can speak it silently and while my back is turned. Jared Kins. So, I begin to speak, even though my voice isn't loud, even though I'm shaking, and even though I am scared. The first step of a million-mile journey, and you know it isn't that bad if you're wearing the right shoes. I am Ella Stevens, a 7th grader who is purely terrified of getting on stage in front of people. But at my school, it's a project-based school, and so that means we have public exhibitions. And last year, in 6th grade, we had the poetry exhibition. And that means you could either rehearse a poem from a different author and rehearse it and perform it in front of a group of people, or you could write your own poem and perform it in front of a group of people. But for me, more like an ocean full of people. I wrote my own poem and I performed it. And right before I went on, my shoes were stuck to the floor and the lights were so bright and I was so scared. And I wish I could say I got this huge gulp of confidence and just went out and rocked it. But I went out, stared at my poem, and began. I was reciting my poem when I began to realize, you know, these are my words and I want to share them with the world. And so that's when I got my first gulp of confidence. The beauty of being scared is the fact that relief is right around the corner. And I remember vividly in all of my elementary classes, every time I had to get in front of the class or every time I had to speak, I would turn bright red and I shook so bad I couldn't hold a piece of paper and my eyes watered so much. I was terrified and I felt like everybody knew it. This is exactly how I felt on the first day of middle school. This is exactly how I felt when we had my first presentation of learning. Now, a presentation of learning at my school is a POL for shorts, and you present your learning throughout the semester. And this is a big challenge for me because, as you know, I'm scared of getting in front of a group of people. And so on my first one, I went out and I was all confident. I had my note cards and I was ready to go. And I started my electronic presentation and I had my Prezi going and I was talking and I was doing my introduction and I realized, no way, my eyes weren't watering and I wasn't scared. And that had never happened before. So I stood up taller and I got this huge gulp of confidence and I just finished. And after this, I realized there were multiple things about my stage fright that I could do. I could shut down and not do anything. I could continue to be scared and not be my best, or 3, I could put my best self out there and ignore my anxiety. Even though it is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do and one of the hardest things I'm still working on, I chose the 3rd. Now, after my presentation, I learned that there are multiple things that I could do. And one of mine is that you move around and you don't fidget or you don't walk across the entire stage, I've learned, and you just kind of move around and give your body some motion. And you also just know what you are doing is important. Have that confidence. Okay. Todd Macon, a 6th grade teacher, a poet, and a presenter. Like many presenters, Todd Macon has gotten through stage fright. And he remembers when he was in elementary school, he was in a band and he played guitar. And he had this huge group of friends, and as soon as they walked out, he felt completely alone. And so the lights were bright and the music started and he hit that first note and something went horribly wrong. And so he just stood there and he didn't play for the rest, like he pretended to play. And so he came up with his own advice. You do the opposite of what people tell you. Instead of addressing a crowd, you address small groups of people. And once you feel confident presenting for that person or that group of people, you move on to the next, and you perform for, or talk for them. Now, even though it is beyond me to say this right now, stage fright is good. It means you are doing something that is important, and it means you care about it. Now, the audience wants you to succeed, and they want you to impress them. And to do that, have confidence and know what you are doing is important. And I feel this really relates because I have tried all of this advice, and I feel it really works. So, this is my opportunity to give someone that same confidence that I'm displaying right now. Even though it is so hard and it's so challenging, you get this huge feeling of accomplishment once you've done it. And so, I would like to conclude with one simple statement. I am terrified. And that's the truth. But the thing is, I'm not as terrified as I was 2 minutes ago. Stage fright is a battle that has gone on with the own enemy being my own mind. And I can definitely say I have conquered this battle and I'm on to the next. I want to thank you once more, not just for listening to my fear and how I overcome it, but for giving me my opportunity. Thank you, for this is an opportunity that I will never forget.